Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We're playing as France. Remember when we did the France run a while back and I was saying I wanted to do an exploration of each of the divided monarchies? So this time we're going to work on the Legitimists. And this is going to be interesting because we're going to see a lot of what's going on. A very brief review of where France is in 1836. Politically, the government consists of the Resistance Party, which is the landowners and the Catholic Church, and the industrialists want to join the Republican Union Party. If we put them there, they will be out of government. This is curious. I could actually get a lot of legitimacy putting the armed forces into government, so let's go ahead and do it. Kablam! Now my government is legitimate, and everyone who wants to be a Republican is over there. So, we are a wealth voting monarchy. We have cultural exclusion, which is the most generally available of the generally available citizenship policies. It's the most liberal. Wealth voting is kind of middle of the road. It still restricts the vote to the wealthy. Pops above 25 wealth. Freedom of conscience is the middle of the road. It is any Christians are tolerated, everyone else is discriminated. Appointed bureaucrats is a good one. Extra taxation capacity from that. Professional army, National Guard. National Guard's pretty bad, in my humble opinion, but it does increase your conscription capability. Economy, we got interventionism, protectionism, and per capita taxation. Those three are very standard at the beginning of the game for Western Europe. Protectionism means we're doing tariffs, so we are getting a little bit of tariff income, or actually quite a bit of tariff income. Interventionism means we can subsidize whatever buildings we want. We get half of the building. The investment pool goes into government and half into private. Land reforming of tenant farmers, it's a little better than serfdom, but there are definitely groups that it still provides a small bonus to the landowner's political strength. Colonial resettlement, it means we can colonize. Dedicated police forces, that's generally a reasonably accepted good one. We have public schools, we don't have a health system. The only one we've got available is charity hospitals for now. Human rights, we got no particular workers' rights or children's rights. We do have censorship. Gives us a little authority boost, but reduces tech spread. Status of women, they're propertied. That's the most liberal one available at the beginning of the game. Welfare, we have poor laws, which weakens poor pops who are receiving welfare. No controls on migration, and slavery is banned. Institutions, we got level 2, public education. Level 1, everything else we've got. So, let's start. I know you can colonize over here, right from jump. And we do have an interest set up. Do we have an interest over here? Yes, we do. Right, Sahrawi is not available for colonization. Let me just make double sure I'm not making this up. Okay, no, they do have malaria, so we can't necessarily go there right now immediately. Alright, so I've already enacted some consumption taxes. We started with wine and liquor, and I added services. It's a very standard build for me. It's interesting. Our outliner here is a little different because of the patch, and indeed, Escadre de la Méditerranée needs another admiral. Missy, you're an expert naval commander, you're cautious, you're meticulous, and you're an historical character. Courbet. Hope he didn't do anything bad. Let's get him. In fact, we'll give him a boost. That'll boost up the armed forces, and that'll be nice. So we got a bunch of new tabs over here. And these are from the most recent patch. You're going to be seeing this. It's about a few weeks ago now. And by the way, this is going to be a short series. We're only going to do about 10 episodes. Just enough to kind of lock in the Legitimists, and then we'll be good to go. And hopefully that'll be enjoyable. After that, we're going to do another Hearts of Iron 4 run, a slightly longer one, while I build up a buffer of episodes in the new patch, in the Sphere of Influence patch, and then we're going to launch in Sphere of Influence. So, we got the economy over here, which shows markets and companies. Interesting, we do have that's a taxation capacity shortage. All right, nice. Very good. We're also close to a taxation capacity shortage in Aki 10, so we can definitely build up some of that stuff. Politics, we've got interest groups and whatnot. Diplomacy. Still has states, we got colonies as well. Military, that's the usual stuff, and then show all. Alright, so I'm just going to go back to show pinned for now, and we'll see how that looks. But actually, let me get started. How's the market looking? Market's looking good. Oh, we got some overtime data. Wonderful. How's paper? Paper is very affordable. Good. Let's go ahead and get ourselves, well, cargo ports and standardized filing system. Where are we not using standardized filing system? Oh, Algiers. Well, that'll be fine. It's fine. You'll be fine. So we want a few of these in, what was it, Languedoc? Yes. We need 4 levels here. That'll be just fine. That'll give us some extra cash, and it'll also employ some pops down there. Very good. Universities, we need to upgrade to philosophy departments. That's going to cost us a little bit more paper, but it's going to produce a lot more innovation. In terms of universities, I know we can get an event if we've got 5. We've already got 5 here, so that should be fine. Railways, we've got experimental trains. Don't unlock steam until we invent steel railway cars. Alright, so that'll be fine. We're not necessarily looking to do big reform here, so we're going to leave these at administrative clergy. We could make the railways government run. It would reduce the cost in transportation, but it would increase the productivity. You know what? Let's do it. I don't necessarily need capitalists. I'm going with legitimism. So, if we produce citrus, that'll produce a bunch of fruit. That's going to make them... It's predicted to really increase their productivity. What is the price of grain looking like? Ooh, it's rather expensive. So maybe we'll stick on... we can go to soil enriching. If we've got the fertilizer, have we got any fertilizer? Not enough. But we can produce some more with our ranches. So let's go ahead and do it. This is going to cost 450 fertilizer. But it's going to produce a lot more grain, and that's going to completely help out our grain situation. And it would allow these to produce fruit without a problem. I see. So this looks a little different here. We've got the profitability here is the the balance. This is the average profitability. Livestock ranches. Let me see. So the increased wool gathering is what adds the it reduces meat output and increases fertilizer output. So we're going to swap over to that for all of our ranches. French Algiers doesn't want to be using tools for their mines. That's a shame. Oh, but my goodness, we gotta have Atmel pump engines. Yeah, I know you're short on fertilizer. It'll be fine. It'll be just fine. So let's see. I think everything else is looking okay. Fishing wharves, you gotta use trawlers, guys. Let's get with the times. I'm going to leave them on merchant guilds for now. Interestingly, you can leave them on merchant guilds with trawlers. I don't necessarily want too many capitalists trying to fix the country. Or at least fix the country for them personally. Urban centers, we do have some working on gas streetlights, but not all. And we have state-run churches here. Oh yeah, there's a state atheism one now, too. Alright, so let's go ahead and select a tech. We got up to railways, that's very good. We could get nitro to increase our output for our mines. Water tube boiler, same deal. We do have mechanical tools already, so that's very good. Military, we're all the way up to Napoleonic warfare. We do not have... We've got general staff. We don't have any of the specials, but we do have percussion cap. So that's very good. Over here in naval, we got power of the person screw frigate already. Society. We've already got Central Archives. We don't have Nationalism yet, which is very good. And then I typically beeline quinine to get us access to colonization. And then we do already have dialectics. So it's a toss-up. I kind of want quinine so that I can get colonizing. But I also want to get nationalism, and I also want to improve my iron mines. So let's go ahead and I think we got to focus on us. So we'll do the iron mine improvements for. Is this improves iron mine? Yes, condensing pump engine. That's for the mines. And then we'll tech up to quinine and get ourselves colonizing, and that will be just fine. We do have an iron shortage at this time, so building more iron mines is going to be necessary. Let me see. I'll assess the rain. We've got quite a few. Where have we got unemployment? 28k here, 17k here, 50 here, 50 here. Quite a few in Normandy. Let's build in Auvergne-Limousin. We'll do 6 levels of iron mines there. And we'll intersperse them with these government admins just to make sure that we're working on both at once. That should help with us. That should help us out financially. Financially, we're doing fine. We've got a slight shortage, but that's all right. Let's go ahead and get ourselves unpaused. Private sector is producing some food industries. Oh, sorry, I didn't read you the Divided Monarchies stuff. So let's take a look at this business. Great Britain's colonized Kenya. Okay, here we go. Pretenders to the throne. The 3 dynasties have claims on the French throne. The Orleanist line backs the constitutional July monarchy. The Legitimist line backs the descendants of Charles X, while the Bonapartist line seeks to restore Napoleon's French Empire. The 3 lines have risen to claim one crown, once the archenemy of Rome, then the jewel of Christendom, and now heirs to an uncertain future. The days of the Revolution are fresh in French minds. Another now so soon could spell disaster. Blood may run in the streets before this matter is truly settled. Support the Bonapartist pretenders. This increases their progress by 10 and lets us sway characters to Bonapartism. Stand by the House of Orleans. This lets us sway characters for them and gives them 10 progress. And support the Legitimist pretenders. This increases our progress by 10%. Or down with the monarchy, which strengthens the intelligentsia. We do have a strong Republican movement, but in this one, because we got the industrialists. But actually this time, we're going to support the Legitimist pretenders. So let's talk a little bit about legitimism and what it means. The Catholic Church are Legitimists. So these are their principles. For government, they like monarchy, they dislike everything else, especially council republics. Distro power, they like autocracy. They're neutral towards oligarchy, and they're against all forms of voting, anarchy, technocracy, and single-party states. In terms of church and state, they endorse state religion, and they dislike both freedom of conscience and total separation of church and state. They want to discriminate against the Protestants. And then finally, on free speech, they support censorship, they strongly support outlawed dissent, and they oppose the right of assembly and protected speech. So they're an extremely reactionary group. So let's see what we can get away with. We could go to state religion. This will make the intelligentsia big mad, but we will be able to make some progress there. It's only really the intelligentsia. Let's take a look at our census to see how many Protestants we have. It's not in here, it's in here. So, if we open up a religion here, we got 1.5 million Protestants, 32.3 million Catholics. So, yeah, I think this is going to be good for us. This is going to get us a little bit of extra authority, which will be useful. So we'll go ahead and get started with reforming. And now we'll get started reading the Divided Monarchies action. The House of Orleans reigns secure. I can encourage the Orleanists. I can encourage the Legitimists, which is selected. And I can encourage the Bonapartists. So this lets me switch up which party I'm supporting. This is what progress bar? I'm not sure. So, if completed, the leading dynastic ideology will have an event to put their own candidate on the French throne. Ottoman Empire is improving relations. Wonderful. I should start improving relations with people. How are we doing with... Increase the speed a bit. Let me just figure out where we are with... we're not doing well with iron. We're doing okay with fertilizer, but we're not producing more of it at this time. So let's go ahead and import some fertilizer. Belgium and Prussia can both give us the fertilizer we need. In terms of iron, we're going to get a little bit from Sweden. We're going to get a little bit from the Ottomans. That's going to be nice, and that's going to help with our thing. We are short on engines. Do we have any native motor production? Looks like no. So that should for sure be a priority. Let's put it in unit of France. Put that up there. Our construction capacity is a little bit pathetic, I will say. But it is what it is. Alright, so this will fail if any interest group is not marginalized and is positive on presidential republic. Turmoil in Ile-de-France is greater than 25%. And we have either a Springtime of the People's event, more than 25% of pops are radical, or we're in a civil war. And that triggers an event called the Provisional Government. We have diplomatic ties with a bunch of different countries, so that's fun. We have a little bit of extra authority due to the church being pleased with us. So let's go ahead and throw a consumption tax on luxuries. That's nice. That'll get us a very solid... that'll get us a very solid set of... it'll make our revenue good. So good, so smart at things. Trade agreement with the United States. Absolutely, United States. I would love to purchase your fertilizer. Give me your fertilizer, United States. We don't have a lot. Can I make my farms produce more fertilizer in any meaningful way? Not really. In fact, increasing mechanization reduces fertilizer output, but only by a tiny amount, so I'm not actually really worried about that. What we do want is some fertilizer plants. So let's go ahead and build them in Ile-de-France. Let me see, fertilizer plants output 90 fertilizer a pop. So that means we are looking at... Our shortage is currently... Yeah, so that'll add 180 to the market, and that'll be just fine. We'll be completely capable with 180 fertilizer plants. 180 additional fertilizer, and then the price of grain will be doing a lot better. I tell you what. Alright, so we'll put those at the top. New South Wales is colonizing. That's just fine with me. So, what's our plan here? We got a 58% debate, no stall chance. We've got a 13% chance of success and a 27% chance of an advance. So I call that a pretty good setup getting started. Pleased about that. What else have we got to do in the country? We need to increase iron. So, and by the way, so we got about 150 fertilizer coming from these trade routes. So once we've built up a native fertilizer industry, we'll be able to cut some of those trade routes. Standard of living is basically stagnant. It's going up a little bit. All right, we've got our City of Plenty event. I'm going to go ahead and read that. The most prominent members of Rhône high society have been seen organizing luxurious parties in the new and lavish urban buildings. Marble walls, shimmering stone, the noise of people coming and going brings the city back to life when we didn't even know it was dead. Tall buildings cover the sunset, kids play with bricks, Smoke blends with the clouds. A distant bell announces the next train. Progress is coming. Let them celebrate. This gives me a bunch of loyalists, or the party will never end. This gives me way more loyalists, but it also increases their minimum expected standard of living. So let's take a look at Rhône. Where is Rhône? Here we go. What does the standard of living look like? Average is struggling. Can you give me my class? Still, yeah, here we go. So, average of secure is 20. Minimum expected is 13. So, if we say yes, that'll increase minimum expected to, I think, 16, and that'll be just fine. So I'm going to do it. Land. Give me all those loyalists. The law proposal causes uproar in Swahili communities. Claiming that the enactment of state religion will affect the country's Swahili inhabitants in a disproportionately negative way, Swahili firebrands have riled their communities against the law proposal. Give them a finger and they'll cry for an arm. Give them an arm and before you know it, they'll weaponize the arm, batter you all to death with it, and pilfer their corpses for even more concessions. And their thoughts concern us how? Force the issue through. This gets us some protests, which costs us bureaucracy. Some Swahili pops become more radical. We have an Indian Ocean territory. Okay, that's interesting to know. But it gives us some enactment success chance. Make some token amends. This just produces radicals. Acknowledge and address their concerns. This reduces enactment chance. Makes them more loyalists. I'm going to go with the first one. And then we'll do what we got to do. This has messed up our bureaucracy, which is going to mess up our money, which is going to be a problem. All right, I'm going to put that there. Hopefully that'll go faster. French Algiers raided. Marauders flying the flag of Mascara have raided our settlements in Algiers, slaughtering both a French garrison and several high-profile collaborators. It was a feint, sir. We thought they were chasing a small raiding party, as only some cattle had been reported as stolen, but the moment we entered the ravine, a cacophony of shouts and gunshots erupted. The captain was the first to fall, and everything went to hell thereafter. From there on, it's just a haze of butchery and fire, sir. Rebuild, their day will come. There's a lot of debuffs in French Algiers and degrades stuff going on in Mascara. Or General Bugeaud was responsible. Call up a tribunal. Thomas Bugeaud will be court-martialed. 50% chance to be found guilty and dismissed for his failures. And all the other stuff the same. He's an Orleanist, so it would be good if he gets out of the situation. So we'll do it. He did not die. That's okay, though. I can sway a character to Orleanism if I want. This guy is... to Legitimism if I want. This guy is... He's older, though, but he's a moderate. What about you? You're 51, so you're not... You're an Orleanist. Oh, you're Bugeaud. Are you any good? Supply requisitions expert, but you're also cruel. High kill rate. Ambitious. Interesting. And this army is headed up by a reformer. You're an innovative and a trench rat. Ooh, that's pretty good. Curious. Reduce morale loss, reduce morale recovery. And the army of Africa is headed up by Bertrand Clozel. What about you? Are you... All of our leaders are really old. This guy's old. These guys are not as old. This guy's a moderate. Rear Admiral Charles Baudin. He's an experienced naval commander, and he's a diplomat, and he's tactful. The guy we just added is also around here. Cautious is not the greatest, but I would love to have him as a legitimist. I can't do this because his interest group is in government, and it is ideologically compatible with legitimism. Alright, I'm not exactly sure what that means from a technical perspective, but that makes sense to me intuitively. So, can we find a non-armed forces guy in the armed forces that we can convert? You're armed forces. You're armed forces. You're rural folk, and you're an Orleanist. Alright, so you're a potential candidate. Thomas Bugeaud, and then you're an armed forces guy. Alright, so it's going to be Bugeaud. Hey, you. Can't. Ideology Orleanist is not opposed to the Legitimists. Wait, hold on. hold on. So why can't I convert this boy? Ideologically compatible. Compatible with Legitimist includes Catholic Church, Petit Bourgeois, rural folk, and landowners. I see. Okay, so you need to have this, and then you need to also have them not be supporting a different monarchy in order to work. All right, that's fine. So I could, for example, get the head of the rural folk. Petit bourgeoisie are not strong enough to matter right now. So just once again to check which we need. So the Legitimists, Catholic Church, Petit Bourgeoisie, rural folk, and landowners. So the Catholic Church, the landowners, and so I can't convert you because you're already an Orleanist. But I could, for example, convert the head of the rural folk, who's currently a radical. But because he's radical, which is opposed to Legitimist. Okay, so you can't convert someone who supports one of the other monarchies or a number of left-leaning and left-oriented ideologies, like anarchist, vanguardist, Republican, or radical. There's a big old list here. I'm not going to read all of them. Enlightened Royalist is interesting, but I guess that does make sense that you can't turn one of those guys into a supporter of the Bourbon monarchy. All right, so in any case, that is going to be all that we've got for converting. We'll keep an eye on that because we have the capability. We're about to hit our first event for state religion. So let's see what our second event. We already got our first event. Miracle workers. Reports abound of a miracle performed by clergymen in Paris. Such displays are promoting religious piety throughout France. Think first of the good of others before yourselves. To give is divine. To cultivate a generous spirit is true virtue. Follow the path of righteousness not out of fear, but out of love. The Catholic Church are true followers of the divine. This makes them 10% stronger and gives us 20% extra enactment chance. Or state religion will fill our hearts with faith. This gives us 40% enactment chance. Making the Catholic Church stronger would be good for the run overall, but 40% enactment chance is a lot. I'm going to do it. So now we're at 64% chance of a success, 28% of it advances. So this is going to get done really fast, and then we're going to get a bunch more authority. We've got a lot of cash, a lot of money in the bank, but we don't have a lot of iron. We are importing some iron. Let's take a look at our trade route situation. Okay, all of our trade routes are productive. And we are importing engines from Britain. If we import iron, we can get some from Sweden. Some from Tuscany. Because I want to increase our construction sectors just by one. Let's build it in Auvergne-Limousin, where we're building all those iron mines. I just want to get this done pretty fast, basically right after this level of government admin, because this government admin is going to also improve our finances really significantly. Go ahead and pop the game speed up here up to 4. We're doing pretty well on loyalists. We're still in number 2 position overall. That's where we start. Alright, so that's increased that. Obviously, this is going to goof up our iron supply a little bit. We're going to build these fertilizer plants, and that's going to be fine. I think we're actually going to build one, then build an iron mine and another government admin to get us some extra bureaucracy, and then we'll help things out. And this bureaucracy is really going to help us with our finances, because currently we're suffering from 3.7% tax waste, and that's unfortunate. A Scuffle of Houses. François René de Chateaubriand, a devoted Legitimist, has carried out a series of verbal attacks and accusations of opportunism against the leading Orleanist cause. I presume you understand your summons today, monsieur. These delays have gone on long enough. Of course, His Majesty's will be done, but with the utmost care and alacrity. But surely, given the history of our glorious nation, should it not be in His Majesty's interest for his decrees to be accepted by all? We are not amused by our games de Chateaubriand. Urge him to be silent, lest he escalate too far, or a fiery and entertaining display. Urge him to be silent, so this decreases the progress of the Orleanists by 15, or a fiery and entertaining display. Reduces the progress of the Orleanists by 25 instead of 15, but François René de Chateaubriand gets a popularity penalty. We'll just do the first one. I don't want to lose too much on this. So, Divided Monarchies, this is... Okay, so this is the Orleanists solidifying themselves. Alright, so how do we do this? I see, here we go. So, this... Yes, popularity of Bonapartist characters, clout of Bonapartist interest groups, military building levels. This is what supports Bonapartism. For Orléans, we get industrial building levels. And then this is... Here we go. From agriculture building levels. That's right. So you need to build up agriculture, and we need to increase legitimacy. That's kind of the primary way. No, having high legitimacy is not good, right? If we drop the legitimacy... Alright, so now let's check how the progress looks. It's still 16. Let's wait for the week to turn over, and then... Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. That's right. So you don't necessarily want high legitimacy right now, because we that gives us, because lower legitimacy gives us progress on that whole situation. All right, so we should look to be building up the agricultural industry. I'm gonna put everything on slaughtering tools. Yeah, I know, but you're going to be more productive eventually. Tools are very affordable. Well, tools are not as affordable as I would like them to be, but it is what it is. So what can we build up that would make our agriculture situation better? We could do a little bit more silk. That would be nice. We could do more tobacco. Tobacco, we're good on grain, good on wine. Silk, tobacco. Actually, way over on sugar. And dyes. And coffee. Sugar, dyes, and coffee. Alright. So let's go ahead and queue in. Let's export some sugar, dyes, and coffee before we do anything else. Who wants sugar? Nobody. Alright, interesting. Who wants dyes? Virtually nobody. Cool. Anyone want some coffee? The Ottomans. Ottomans are buying French coffee. What a time. What a time to be alive. So once again, silk we can increase. And tobacco. Well, no, actually we're getting most of it from trade routes. That's what's going on. Alright, so we can definitely build up our tobacco industry in French West Africa, or in Pondicherry. Where is Pondicherry? Well, where it is a good place to build some tobacco plantations is to start. So we'll build some of those. And that'll reduce our reliance on foreign tobacco. Wine, we're getting a tiny amount from trade routes. Sugar, we are getting some from trade routes, but mostly okay. Dyes, we are getting a bunch from trade routes. Interesting. Fascinating, in fact. And let's build up some more silk. We'll give the Pébrine something to do later. Alright. Landowners petition government. Representing his constituents and the landowners, Victor de Broglie has issued a formal petition to the French government to pass laissez-faire. One last matter for the day, sir. Members of your constituency arrived this morning. They're asking rather loudly and insistently if you would meet with them about new legislation. Well, is that it? Goodness, you seem as if you've seen a ghost. I'm sure we can spare the last hours of light for them, can't I? I believe so, sir. They weren't taking no for an answer. Ooh! Ooh! This is a new option. So we'll see what we can do. This adds the petition. They must understand the present situation does not allow for this. This makes them angry. But it's only for now, and it's only -5. Doing this multiple times for the same interest group will have worse consequences. Oh, interesting. That's wild. Offer them legal guardianship as a compromise. Landowners will expect the government to pass legal guardianship in the next 5 years. So what are our chances look like of passing legal guardianship? We're going to take away the right of women to inherit property. There's a huge success chance on here. Nobody likes it, and the intelligentsia will get really mad. This will be bad for the country. It will reduce workforce ratio, it will increase birth rate, but still overall bad for the country. Let's do it! Kablam! Offer them legal guardianship as a compromise. I don't want to go to laissez-faire in this moment because that's going to give the industrialists access to more of my investment pool. And I don't want to do that because they're going to use it to build industrial buildings. And I want to use my investment pool to build agricultural buildings like Jesus intended to strengthen the Legitimists. But that's all the time we've got for today. So yeah, we're doing big reactionarism. We're gonna try to put the Bourbons back in power, and we'll see how it goes. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.